Hey David, thanks for joining, Skippy. We're gonna get started in a couple of minutes, just waiting for Paul to join. Hey Mark, how are you? Thank you guys for joining, really appreciate it. First time going live, so we'll see how it goes. We're gonna get started in just a couple minutes. If you guys have any questions, feel free to add them to the chat box as we get going. Paul just entered the chat, he's just about to join us. Adding Paul in now.
What's up?
There he is, the man of the hour, Paul.
Ta! I think you're the man of the hour, my dude.
Got a couple friends. We got my friend Mark joining from Austin, Texas. We got my friend Skippy, who's in LA.
All right, all right. What's up, Mark and Skippy? How's my videos okay? Am I doing okay outside?
Yeah, you're good outside.
All right.
Surviving that Sacramento heat.
Man, it's supposed to cool down, so I think we'll be okay. It's gonna heat back up. It was like 109, 108. So it's gonna cool down this week, and it's gonna get back up there this weekend. So hopefully we can enjoy something the next couple days.
Perfect. All right, well, it's noon, so we'll get started. First, I would like to introduce Paul. He's with Guide Real Estate up in Sacramento. So go ahead, Paul. Give us a little background of how you joined Guide and just your real estate start.
Yeah, so I joined Guide Real Estate in February. I did a lot of due diligence actually. I'm a very practical person. So prior to February of this year, probably I started October, September of last year doing a lot of due diligence while I was waiting to take my exam. And I came across Guide. Guide was actually Keller Williams before they made a switch to become an independent broker in Sacramento. And I'm just Maureen Barker. She was the one that was leading the charge there, and I really fell in love with just everything that she had to say and everything that she's about, and the team that she was bringing with her. That was coming over with her. She had a lot of strong agents, so being able to piggyback off them, learn from them, and really just the quality of the administrative staff. We have a really strong administrative staff in that office. Everyone works really hard. Everyone shares information with each other. Everyone is just, I don't know, it's just a really cool brokerage, and it's in a really cool location in the Ice Block. So if you've been to downtown Sac, the Ice Blocks is kind of like a cool, hip little place down in Sacramento. So there's Shake Shack, and there's breweries, and there's really nice restaurants. So just to be around there, and kind of the revitalization of our street and all that stuff. So just a really cool brokerage, and it's almost like a family. So to me, it was a no-brainer, and the fact that she was going from a big name to a small independent brokerage, to me really speaks to me just in terms of kind of like the underdog mentality. So yeah, that was me.
That sounds like a great fit, and it's good that you're in a great part of Sacramento in terms of the energy, the vibe, and Sacramento's obviously coming up, and lots of people moving to town. So that's awesome that you're
Lots of people are moving to town. You got that right.
you're right in the mix of everything. And luckily,
So what about you, Marty? What about you?
yeah,
Going down in San Diego and Keller Williams?
yeah. So Keller Williams is a great company to work for. I did all my classes online for real estate, so I was really yearning for a real estate community to kind of tap into and vibe with as well. And I kind of did my research just similar to what people do in terms of reviews. I went on Yelp and saw who was around town as far as brokerages, what their ratings were, seeing kind of feedback of their experience with people and helping buy homes. And so I hadn't taken the test yet. This was a little while back, and I reached out to a lot of different coaches and mentors that are at these brokerages, and the main person that got back to me and was willing to mentor me even before I took the test to join was Vinny Enriquez of the Enriquez Group at Keller Williams. So he kept in touch with me. He saw me more as a person. We vibed really well. It wasn't, hey, how many sales can you get, or what are you going to do to, make this place, the top producing. It was more the people and the interaction. And Keller Williams is always highly ranked. They got great resources, and it's close to my house in downtown San Diego. So it's just been a great fit with them and working as part of the Keller Williams team.
Yeah, that's dope, man. I mean, it's all about vibe, right? It's always about the energy. So trying to find, something that is just a good fit, not just maybe where you're gonna, be able to make the most sales, or, people want certain things, but it's all about vibe and energy. So that's what's up.
Agreed, definitely. What sparked your initial interest in real estate? What made you kind of jump into the mix of the industry?
Man, I've had an interest in real estate for a long time. One of the bigger influences in my life is my brother and his wife, who happens to be a mortgage broker, a lender. And I've just seen, I was able to watch their business grow for the last 15 years. She's been doing it for 18 years. He's been doing it for 15 plus years as a real estate agent. So they make a really good team, and being able to watch them. And, my whole life I've just been so interested in starting my own business, being, having something to call my own. And I've done different things. I started a t-shirt company when I was 20, and, we did that and we had fun with that, and that was its own thing. And then me and my dad and my cousin, we started our own, pasta sauce company, and we were selling pasta sauces in Sacramento at the farmers markets, So I've just always had this thing, that has been calling me to do my own thing. And real estate really, it's something where it is your business. It's me, it's my business, it's my thing. And it takes a lot of hard work. And, I just feel like it's something almost like a no-brainer, because I feel like I'm a good people person, and I can relate to people. And the career that I've been in for the last 10 years is helping at-risk youth. So for me, this is almost like, taking the next step, right? From working with 16, 18, and now 20 plus year olds get jobs, get them out of homelessness, get them out of rough situations, give them opportunities. I've just been that type of person. So to me, to kind of grow beyond that, and to be able to help people almost in the same way, not necessarily with those types of at-risk things, but getting their first home, helping them, being a guide for them, and showing them, what it's going to take to get to where they want to go. That's what's really what drove me to real estate, is kind of almost taking the next step, and just always having kind of, an entrepreneurial spirit, and wanting to help people and be a part of, something that's super special, which is buying a home, or even investing, someone getting into investing for the first time, or, being able to be a support for someone that's never sold a home before. So just all those things in terms of helping people, guiding people, and just being a support system for them.
Definitely. I can relate to that in a lot of ways. And that's kind of my big why as well, is just helping others and coming from a place of value. I don't really see it as this salesy, pushy, hey, you have to buy with me type of thing. It's just about relationships, about helping others. And I have an extensive marketing kind of customer service background. So it just parlays well into that, and the entrepreneurial spirit as well. Just having taken those classes during undergrad and grad school, and being your own boss type of thing is really stimulating to me. And then I tend to, or it's just, there's a lot of agents out there, but it's about who you know, and just working with those relationships. And everybody wants to live in a home. It's not a certain type of music or types of cars. Everybody at the end of the day wants to have a happy home and live in a home. So
something to call their own.
Exactly. So there's opportunities everywhere, and it's something everyone can relate to.
Yeah, man.
Uh,
I love it. I
uh,
do.
so now transitioning, and let's talk about us and more talk about the current market and provide
Yeah.
value that we just talked about to others. We both grew up near Sacramento. We both went to see our college together. We've known each other 15 plus years. And we're in different markets now, but the market is crazy and busy all over California. But can you give us a little insight of just kind of what the market looks like for Sacramento specifically, and what the home cost is right now and so forth?
Yeah. So the market's it's doing its thing right now, especially in Sacramento. I was kind of looking at numbers in our MLS for Sacramento County, El Dorado, Placer, and Yolo, and prices are high. Days on market are low. So just being able to look at those things, you can tell that it's still a very strong and still very heavy seller's market, which I'm sure you're experiencing down there in San Diego.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so, I mean, if we were to look at some of the specific numbers, you know, the price has actually appreciated. Price has been appreciating, but the for sale price, excuse me, the for sale price has been going down, but the actual what it's selling for is appreciating. So specifically in Sacramento, uh, the homes that are being sold are 104% over what they're being listed for. So what that's telling me is that if you're someone that's looking into selling their home, now's the time to do it, because homes are being listed at a certain point, but because there's so many buyers that are willing to buy and they want to get into something that's their own, they're willing to pay over and above what the house is listed for. And that also speaks to the days on market. If you look at the days on market, from this time last year, so June of 2020, the days on market has gone down 63%, right? So it was like at 30 days on market in June 2020, and June 2021, as of today, it's at 11 days on market. So once again, if you're someone that was looking to sell their home or has even thought about selling their home, now's the time, because you have buyers that are looking at these home prices, and even with them being at these all-time levels, they still want to get in. They have to get in, because who knows where it's going to go. And everything that you look at says that where there might be more houses coming online, like the numbers that I'm looking at, there are more houses being listed month over month here in Sacramento and the surrounding area. But that doesn't necessarily mean the price is going to come down. If anything, it's going to find a support and possibly go back up. So if you're looking at the inventory in Sacramento and the surrounding area, so there's you can get a ratio, right? So based on closed homes, the ratio right now in the Sacramento surrounding area is 0.6. So 0.6 indicates an extremely strong seller's market. So if you were to look at the numbers that we look at, anything under 3 is a seller's market. So we're talking about 0.6. That's maybe 2.5 weeks worth of inventory. That is not a lot. So you're seeing how these numbers are starting to match up in terms of the days on market, in terms of what the home's being listed for, but what it's actually selling for at 104%. So it's just amazing. My wife just popped on. Oh, okay. Hey.
There she is.
But yeah, so that's kind of the market right now in Sacramento and the surrounding area. It's very strong seller's market. It's been that way. It's going to continue to be that way. And hopefully more people, because, as you know, California just lifted a lot of the COVID restrictions around open houses, around what sellers are required to do, what listing agents are required to do in order to list their homes. We don't have to, have, the signs and the postage in the homes. You don't have to do all of that. So, hopefully there'll be more people coming in, listing their homes without those restrictions. And it should be a lot easier to get things moving.
Definitely. My friend Mark just asked, do you predict that home prices are going to fall anytime soon?
I'll go, since I was just talking. I mean, I don't want to make any predictions. I don't see them coming down. No, my personal opinion is I don't see them coming down. If anything, maybe a small correction with as more houses come online in terms of being listed. But like I said, I feel like it would be something where it finds a support pretty quick, and then the buyers come in and they start scooping them up again. Because when you look at the numbers, 63% of not 63%, I'm sorry. I'm trying to 31% or whatever. So the difference between houses that were listed in 2020 between now is just drastically lower. So yeah, I don't see them. I see the prices going up. If anything, if anything, maybe a small correction, but it'll find support and it'll keep going up.
Agreed.
What do you think, Marty?
I agree with you on that. The last 2 weeks, the median price has kind of stayed the same in San Diego at 760K. So usually each week it kind of goes up and up. So having 2 weeks where it's staying the same is kind of a reason to be optimistic that you might be kind of not necessarily evening out, but starting at 635 to 650 in the beginning year and now being at 760 for the median price. That's a huge appreciation right there. But I believe with it being at 760 for a little bit, maybe it'll kind of even out for a few weeks, few months, and then continue to accelerate. But I don't see it going down anytime soon by any means.
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
Yeah. And similar to you, Holmes, I mean, we see them go up live on Tuesday through Thursday. There's showings Friday to Sunday, and then by Monday, offers are in, homes are gone. So the market is definitely moving very fast. But on the bright side for buyers, I see with the economy reopening and vacation, summertime, it's the peak season. So it'll be a seller's market for the foreseeable future. But inventories are rising a little bit. We have about 3,200 homes on the market right now in San Diego County. But buyers just need to continue to be patient, persistent, and don't get the buyer's fatigue of, hey, I might have missed out, because I see with people and with the economy reopening, some people might take their eye off the prize or get distracted. And with the increased inventory, it might be a little bit easier for buyers. Yeah, there's still going to be multiple offers on a home, but as long as you're sticking.
There might not be as many multiple offers on a home.
Exactly.
So you might have a little bit less of competition.
Agree.
So it's just a matter of sticking with it. If you have buyers, or if you're someone that's looking into buying a home, you just got to stick with it. You got to make sure that you're giving yourself enough firepower to compete. So
definitely agree on that. And then to transition, what for homes, what neighborhood or what spotlight would you like to put on for Sacramento? Is there a community or neighborhood that you're seeing just you think there's a lot of potential there, or you think it's underrated in terms of people should be looking there instead of the more popular areas?
Man, I'm gonna cherry pick in my home neighborhood, the 95823. I live over here in a little neighborhood called Parkway, and it's an amazing neighborhood. It's an older neighborhood built in 1956. Yeah, 95823. I feel like there's not a lot of homes being sold right now, and for me that's a good thing, because I feel like they're gonna start coming online, and with these higher price points, obviously that means that there's gonna have to be a certain buyer that's going to be able to qualify to purchase the homes that are in these neighborhoods, especially something like 95823, which actually is probably a little bit lower of an entry point as opposed to some of the other surrounding neighborhoods in Sacramento. If you think of Pocket Greenhaven in the 95831, you think of Southland Park, the average homes over there are 600, 650. And probably the average home here in 95823 and in the Parkway Estates area is about $404,000. So it's a lower entry point, but it's an established, mature neighborhood. And at these price points, I feel like if you're a family that's looking to move to Sacramento or is looking to maybe upgrade, but you don't have the firepower to get to 650, something like a mature neighborhood like Parkway and something in the 95823, you have some firepower to go in and bring your family. A lot of these homes are at least 3-2. The home that I'm in is a 4-2 in the neighborhood. So just the ability to get in at a lower point with an established neighborhood with good schools. You're in SAC Unified. There's some private school options that are available. Um, so being able to come in at a lower price point just makes it nicer when you're budgeting for a mortgage and you're thinking about school and you see home grocery prices going up, things of that nature. So yeah, I'm a cherry pick for our first Instagram live. I'm gonna go with the home neighborhood
I like.
with the home zip code. Yeah, there's a lot of families. I'm seeing a lot of kids and a lot of families around here lately, and that's really good for an older neighborhood to be able to see a turnaround. A transition from the older, as I said, to mature community and mature neighborhood. But obviously, life happens, and the transition has to come at some point. And I feel like now's a good time for newer families with kids to come in and plant, stake their flag, so to speak, and make this community what it is. So I feel like $404,000 is a pretty good price point for a lot of people that might be looking for something in Sacramento. What do you think, Marty? What's going on in San Diego?
San Diego, I'm going to put the spotlight on, it's kind of a combo neighborhood, City Heights, El Cerrito area. So just to paint a picture, if you aren't in San Diego, City Heights is a very diverse neighborhood, has a lot of food options already. It's anchored by University Avenue and El Cajon Boulevard. It's right next to Normal Heights and North Park, but those areas are already very saturated, already super hip with their nightlife and food and beverage options.
North Park, Marty.
I know I'm a North Park resident, proud. But in terms of investing here, buying here, and being here long term, I know that North Park's a little tough for not only first-time home buyers, but people that are established as well, just with the price points that they're at right now. City Heights, El Cerrito, so you're anchored by North Park, Normal Heights on one side. You have San Diego State very close on the other side. So there's still a lot of opportunities, jobs, people coming into that respective area just for university. El Cerrito's on a hill, so you have a great view of San Diego and the canyon and other stuff right out your window. It's considerably lower than the median price in San Diego for homes there. It's kind of hovering right around the low sixes, with the median price being 760,000. That's a really good way to get in is going into the neighborhoods that are below the median average, obviously. Yep. And then freeway accessibility. So you're close to the 8, you're close to the 15, you're close to the 94, but you're not right on top of it where you're hearing that noise. But it's really accessible to downtown, North Park, Normal Heights, San Diego State, the freeways. It's just kind of a way to remain central and in San Diego, but not have to pay that crazy price of the hipper neighborhoods that are in the surrounding area. And I love the diversity factor of it. And the mayor even has been talking about investing in more parks and everything in City Heights, and keeping things on an even playing field in terms of, hey, let's put some resources here. Let's focus on getting this up to where we want it to be, instead of just giving money to communities that are already affluent and well off. There's a real investment by the city as well to make it where it wants to be.
That's good. It's good to see that support from the city.
Definitely. Now we're gonna, with the buyers and sellers, people watching probably want some tips. So for sellers, what are your main tips in the current market?
Yeah, I feel like I got 3 strong tips for sellers right now. One of them that I hadn't really thought of, but I've been thinking more of recently is having the sellers. So, Marty, typically, if you represent a buyer, they pay for the home inspection, right? Once you get in the contract, the buyer pays for their own home inspection. So one of the things that I'm looking at now that's kind of becoming a trend, and I think is actually really smart, is actually talking to your sellers and having them prepay for the inspections and getting those inspections pre-done and taken care of. So the general home house, a roof, HVAC. If you have a pool, do the pool. And one of the things that is really nice about that, or can be really nice about that, yeah, the seller is coming out of pocket $950, $1,000, whatever it might be for all those reports. But what it allows is basically it allows, so if Sacramento has a big influx of Bay Area people coming in, Bay Area buyers. So what that does is that allows these buyers that have a ton of money to not necessarily have to make that drive 2 or 3 times. If they really like a house, they can see that, oh, I'm looking at the MLS, or my agent is sending me these homes that are listed for sale, and I can already see the reports. I don't have to pay for these inspection reports. I can see exactly what the inspector has already noted that needs to be repaired. I'm good with those repairs. I can make those repairs on my own, or whatever the case might be. So instead of a seller and a listing agent limiting themselves to the typical 30 to 35-mile radius of buyers, you're now drastically expanding the radius of buyers, because they don't necessarily have to come down on a weekend to attend an open house or to do a walkthrough, because they can see those reports that are already attached in the MLS that the listing agent put in there, because they're already there. They've already been done. Now, obviously, the buyer can maybe they might think that they want to do their own for whatever reason, and that's fine. They can do that, but it still allows all the other buyers to be able to see before they actually step foot in the house, or feel like they have to make the trip, if it's actually going to be worth it for them to go see it, to drive the 100 miles or whatever it is, because those reports are already there. So that's number one. The other one, in terms of that, kind of piggybacking off of that, is if you're thinking about listing your home, if you're thinking about selling your home, don't do the repairs yet. Talk to your listing agent, talk to the person that's in charge of marketing your home. Let them come through, do a full walkthrough themselves, like your listing agent, and seeing what they think absolutely has to be done. What repairs are going to be the most beneficial? Do you even need to do those repairs? Are those things, something that a buyer is going to overlook, so you can save that money? So in terms of piggybacking off of that, maybe hold off on painting your whole house or redoing all the landscaping. Pay for the pre-inspections, which is, like I said, about $950 to $1,100 maybe for all the pre-inspections. Pay that money to open up your radius to the buyers. Save your money by not necessarily doing the repairs that the seller thinks they have to do to sell their home. Because like we've been saying since we started, there's a lot of buyers out there, right? So there's going to be 2 or 3 out of the 10 buyers that are interested that are going to be willing to overlook the repairs that you didn't do just because they want the house. So at the end of the day, save your money. Let your listing agent go through, tell you what exactly needs to be done, so that you can hopefully save a little bit of money. And those things that need to be done, you get them done, and you list your home, and it goes for 105% over the list price, right? So, and that tags into my third selling tip, which is price to attract buyers, right? If you're someone that's interested or is looking or is thinking about selling their home, you can't just say, oh, look at all these homes that are going, getting 20, 25 offers, and they're going 100,000 over. Don't price for that 5%. Don't price to only attract the people that are willing to come in all cash and go 100K over. You want to, of course, get those offers, but you want to price attractively. So you want to price just about market value. So that's where obviously a good agent like Marty or myself comes into play, and making sure that you're getting a really solid market analysis, so you know that, look, this is what the market would actually be willing to pay you. That way you're bringing in plenty of buyers. You're going to get tons of offers. At the end of the day, the more offers you get, the better, more quality buyers you have the chance of sorting through, right? So if you're listing super high, you're only going to get so many people that are willing to pay that price, and they might not even be legitimate. They might say that they have that kind of cash, but at the end of the day, maybe your deal is going to fall through because, you weren't able to vet the offer as because you didn't have as many to go through. So attract, price price your home attractively. Try to get as many offers as you can. That way you have more to sort through, and it gives you the ability to vet the offers that are in there. Because at the end of the day, it's not necessarily how much you can get, but are you going to actually get that price? Is it going to go through? Because if it's not going to go through, then you just did all that work for nothing. It was pointless. You have to go back to the drawing table, and you have to go back and do more work and get more offers. So those are my 3 tips. Pay for your inspections up front as the seller. Wait on repairs. Let your listing agent tell you what repairs are actually going to be essential. Maybe save some money, and then price your home to attract as many buyers as possible. Not for that top 5%. What about you, Marty? What do you got for us? Or any comments on those? And then, of course, you're going to go into the top 3 for buyers.
No, I think those are all great, especially pricing the home right, and just the pre-inspection and seeing what you have up front that you need to address is definitely great. Transitioning to buyers, my top 3 tips for buyers include relying on agent resources. So being with Keller Williams and the metro office near downtown, we have 300 plus agents in our office. So it's great because we're constantly updating each other like employee chat rooms, our group Facebook page. Hey, I have this coming to market. Do you have one that's interested? And then, so it's a great way to be able to get your buyers into seeing these homes before the general public, knowing that your other agents within the office have these listings coming available that week to the market. And also, yeah, it's a seller's market, but there's some sellers out there that don't want to deal with the hoopla of their address being out there, having people paraded around their home. So there are still some off-market opportunities. Granted, they're a little bit fewer in a seller's market, but an agent has resources for buyers in terms of people that want to sell their home but don't necessarily want to list it. So it's always good to check in terms of, hey, is there anything coming to the market that's an off-market? Another thing is just staying within your boundaries, both financially and with your needs and your wants. Don't let your emotions of the busy market get to you. It could be easy to want to, hey, I'm keep bidding on this home, or I'm comfortable at this number, but I really, really want this home, so I'll offer X amount. It's important to stay within your means financially, and that also means don't shop at your top pre-approved price point. If you're pre-approved for 600K, don't be looking at homes for 600K. Be looking at homes for 550, 560. And it goes without being said that, hey, you need to be pre-approved before looking at homes, because you're not going to have time to look at homes, get pre-approved, and get everything ready to go. Definitely pre-approved before you do any type of shopping for homes. But yeah, don't be shopping at the top of your budget, because unfortunately the realistic ability of being able to get that home is pretty slim to none if you're shopping at the top of your budget. And then my last tip for
just real quick, Marty, on that last point, and you mentioned emotions. So really, that's where relying on your buyer's agent comes into play, because that's the job of an agent, right? Is to take the emotion out of it, and to relay, and communicate effectively and with their client. They can be emotional, you know what I mean? But we as agents need to be there to make sure that we take the emotion out of it and remind them that this market is a little nuts. And if you want what you want, then you're going to have to do, A, B, and C, in order to get that. And if you can't do it, then, it's going to be a little bit more difficult, and you're going to have more emotions. So, I think that's where me and you and other agents come into play, is being able to take the emotion out of it for our clients, and really kind of, set expectations and stay in communication. So I like what you said about emotions, and I think we need to make sure that we're doing that for our clients. So
Agreed.
I think you're on your 3rd tip, yeah?
Yep, that's the 3rd tip is just it's important to have a competitive offer, but sometimes the highest bid doesn't end up winning. bids with fewer contingencies, a little more clean. Those are very attractive to sellers. So don't get worried about, hey, I don't have, this much to put down for. You're putting a strong earnest money deposit. If you have less contingencies, if you're making it less hectic for the seller to get the deal done, that can go a long way, as opposed to somebody who's just throwing a lot of money out there and hoping they get the offer accepted because they have the highest offer. It doesn't necessarily always play out that way.
Sure doesn't. It does not always work out that way.
Definitely. Well, we want to thank everybody for joining. We answered a couple questions earlier, but does anybody else have any questions that they would like answered while Paul and I are here?
I saw another one from your buddy Mark. He was talking about a good time. It wasn't necessarily a question, but he was referencing, possible opportunity to take out an equity loan, like a HELOC, and possibly buy another.
Yeah.
The only thing I was going to say to Mark regarding that is just make sure you're running your numbers, especially for single family homes. Just because single family homes, obviously you're only getting one rent. And in this market, buying a single family home and only getting one rent, it might not, unless you're okay sitting on that property and paying that mortgage or paying the difference between the rent and the mortgage. That's just something to think about. If you run the numbers, a HELOC might be better spent on like a duplex or possibly a triplex if you can try and get like a residential income property in your searches. So if you're talking to an agent, you might want to work with them on looking at, duplexes or triplexes or any kind of multifamily unit. That way you're getting multiple rents to help pay for that mortgage and possibly get some passive income on top of it. Because obviously if you're doing a HELOC or some kind of equity loan, then you're going to have to pay the mortgage plus whatever your loan payment's going to be. So you just want to think about stuff like that. Because obviously the point of investing is to make money. But like I said, if you feel like you can hold on to that property and pay that mortgage or the difference or whatever the case is, then yeah, I think that would be a good fit. I personally would look at the multiple family units in terms of duplexes and triplexes to try and get those multiple rents to help cover the mortgage and possibly more.
Definitely. Anybody else have any questions? All right. Well, I really appreciate your time, Paul. Thank you for joining us and give us a little insight on the Sacramento market.
Yeah, that's something you could definitely do, Mark. I would think about that. Yeah, absolutely.
And Mark's currently in Texas now, so he was in the Bay Area. Now he's in Texas and ready to invest. So
there you go. Then now's a good time.
Really is.
That's one thing to say before we wrap up too, is that if you think about just the prices that homes are going for, also the rents that you can get right now are pretty incredible.
Yeah.
What's being charged for a single family home, what's being charged for a 1-bedroom home in the middle of San Diego or the middle of Sacramento downtown. So rents are just as high as these homes, and really it just comes down to what someone's willing to pay. So
definitely agree.
Yeah, absolutely.
Alrighty, everyone. Thanks for joining. Thank you, Paul. Everyone have a great day.
Thank you, Marty. Thanks for putting it on, man. I look forward to doing another one.
Sounds great. Let's do another one soon.
All right. Take care.
Bye.